Hey folks, it's Kat. So this is my first live on the family vlog channel. Some of you know, well, some of you came over from a Minecraft channel. If you're into Minecraft, you can find the link to that channel up above, although it is not aimed at children. It's like more an adult Minecraft channel. It's set not for kids, but obviously this is the family vlog channel. So this is my first live on this channel, and I wanted to give you guys a quick update. I didn't want to do a video because obviously I tried to do a live before, and then I needed to wait the 24 hours, and then we went on holiday and blah 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 blah. So yeah, I wanted to give you guys an update on what happened during the holiday. So as I was saying before in one of my previous videos, we got up like 3-4 in the morning. We had already packed the car, but my husband packed the car the night before. All the kids had been dressed in the clothes that they were going to be wearing in the car that morning, the night before, so they slept in their clothes because it's easier. I ain't dealing with them getting changed at 4 o'clock in the morning when they're sleepy, tired and everything else. So up at 4, me and my husband got everything sorted, last minute stuff that needed to get done, and then last things last, we got everyone else up and into the car. Me and Eowyn were the last ones out the house because she was still asleep. So when my husband's like, right, we're ready to go, I got Eowyn out her cot, carried her down while she was still asleep, put her in her car seat, at which point she woke up, and then, but she was fine, she wasn't grumpy or anything. And then I started off the first part of the drive there because it was like a 5, 6, 7, God knows how many hours drive. How you baby? Just gonna, can I turn the camera around this bit? See? Hi, saying hello? Yeah, this one here. So as you can see, we're on a walk. So yeah, many hours drive. We left about 5:30, I want to say, in the morning from Edinburgh, and we got down to Alton, or into Alton Towers at about, it was about lunchtime, so it was about, let's say, between 12 and 1 o'clock. So little trek of a drive. So I took the first stretch, and then my husband took the middle, which was mainly straight bypass, pretty boring, pretty mundane. And then I took the last stretch, which was all the windy roads through like Stoke-on-Trent and Alton and all that, until we actually got to the park. We just went straight to the park because we couldn't check in till 3. So we went to the park. We thought, we'll get some lunch, we'll kill some time. And basically, as soon as we got there and got into the park, there was these claw vending machines, you know, the one, they've got the toys in them, you need to try and grab them. And one of them had Sonic the Hedgehog in it. We hadn't even been there like 2 hours. We hadn't even been in the park for 2 hours. And Nathan starts kicking off because he wants a Sonic toy, and we truly tried. We spent all the money trying to get this effing Sonic toy, this claw machine, so that he would be happy. He was not. We tried again another few times. It still did not work. We went to guest services to say, look, we've spent all this money trying to get this Sonic toy out of this machine for the wee man. He's really upset about it. He's autistic. Is there anything you can do? And to give the guy his due, I think his name was Andy at guest services, he's like, you have came to the right person. He's an autistic parent himself. I'm like, yes, Andy, you know the drill. You will get this done. This is where it's at. Unfortunately, he cannot get it done. It is a different company that is responsible for all the claw machines in Alton Towers. And the guy that he knows, that he's hooked up with, that could have sorted it out, wasn't there and wasn't able to get there that day. But what Andy did do was they gave Nathan a £20 voucher to spend at the Alton Towers shop, which was very lovely of them. They didn't have to do that. We were willing to pay for the Sonic, I say to them, is like, we will pay for it. That's absolutely no problem. I literally don't care how much it is at this point. We just want to have a good holiday. But Sonic did not happen, and Sonic did not happen throughout the rest of the holiday. What I did do was I went onto Amazon when we were on holiday. My friend was watching our cats. I'm like, right, buddy, I am going to buy this off Amazon. Can I have it sent to your house? She's like, yeah, no bother, cool, sorted. So I bought it. Sonic was in our house for like 5 days before we got home. And like, so every time that Nathan got upset about this Sonic, it's like, when holiday's finished and we go home, you'll get Sonic. And that calmed them down. So, but despite the fact we could not get the Sonic out of the claw machine, it was the exact same Sonic. We had spent about 50 quid trying to get this one Sonic toy out of this claw machine, which is obviously how they do it and how they get you spend the money. But they had the exact same one on Amazon. Like, right, I'm just going to buy it on Amazon, because thankfully when he was younger, if he'd seen that, he would have kicked off meltdowns. He would have not have calmed down until he had that Sonic toy in his hands. Thankfully nowadays he's developed the resilience and the coping mechanisms to understand that even though I can't have it right now, I am going to get it. So as soon as we got back off holiday, we came in the house, Sonic was there waiting for him. He was well chuffed. So that was the first sort of hurdle we had to get through. We thought Eowyn was going to be a bit of a nightmare, because to be honest, the first time we took Nathan on holiday, well, not the first time we took him on holiday, but the first time we took him to Alton Towers, it was crazy, it was chaos. We thought, right, her development's kind of like Nathan at this age. It might end up the same way, although we were pleasantly surprised as long as we stuck to her nap routine, as long as we stuck to obviously her schedule. And obviously that is very important, sticking to routine and everything else with kids on the spectrum, or with anybody on the spectrum. So like, she was obviously a bit grumpy, and in hindsight we should have to, like, we didn't know if the travel cot there was going to be big enough for her mattress. It was. But we didn't take our mattress, with just a bunch of blankets. And given the sweltering heat, it was like 19, 20 degrees there. And if you live in the UK, that's, I'm like, I think it's about 17, 18 today. As you can see, it's very sunny. Very warm, very hot. Got my juice. Actually, I better give her some juice. Here, baby. Some juice. You can say a doodle to mum. There you go. So yeah, it was very, very hot the whole time, despite the first day. Like, when we got there, it was pouring with rain. I thought, oh, this is not going to be good. All the rest of the week, blistered sunshine. Absolutely brilliant. I mean, I got sunburnt. The kids were fine. Thankfully, I think they take their complexion off their dad. I unfortunately take my complexion off my very ginger mother. The ginger gene is strong, although I am a bit of a redhead myself, so, you know, it is what it is. Thanks, Ma. Yeah, so I crisp. I do not tan. I do not burn. I crisp. But apart from that, get a rundown. It was Mardi Gras during there, so they've had like a sort of Mardi Gras themed events going on. They had the market street where they had all different Mardi Gras themed food vendors. I did try their pulled pork and Cajun fries, which is absolutely brilliant, but I love pulled pork. I mean, it could probably be the worst pulled pork in the world and I'd probably still eat it. I love pulled pork. Cajun fries were good, although it did come with well, it was meant to come with cheese as well. I think it was like pepper jack cheese or something, but obviously being dairy intolerant, no cheese for me, thanks. The pizza, there is an all-you-can-eat pizza place there, which we did go to the first day we were there. Well, the first sort of half day we were there in the park for lunch. That's where we went. We went in thinking, oh well, if I can't have pizza, at least we can have salad. And went in, it's like, oh, we can make you a vegan pizza. Do you want it with no cheese? Do you want it with a vegan cheese? I'm like, vegan cheese, please. That'd be great. The pizza was dire. The pizza was absolutely disgusting. The base was paler than I am. Like the tomato puree was okay. I mean, it's like something that just came out of a tube. It wasn't. There was no herbs or spices or anything to it whatsoever. And the vegan cheese, I don't know what they use. Like typically use Violife or the one from Aldi, because they melt really well and they taste really good when melted. I won't eat them by themselves because it's like eating a block of plastic. But I don't know what cheese they were using, but it was not good. 10 out of 10, do not recommend. Apparently they do gluten free also. I don't know if like they combine. I didn't ask for the gluten free base, although I probably should because I'm not really supposed to eat gluten either. But you know, it was not good. I didn't eat it. Gavin didn't eat it. My husband asked how it was, and I literally looked at him and said it was not pleasant. But apart from that, Ewan absolutely loved CB's land. She could go on 2 rides, which was in the night garden and Postman Pat ride. So we went on those. She was too little for anything else, like Go Jetters or the Peter Rabbit one. But they had the park there. The park was awesome. If you want to see what that looks like, check out my shorts. I'm not actually wearing shorts, but you know what I mean. No, I'm not wearing shorts, I'm wearing dungarees, but check out my short videos because I posted like quite a few clips of us in the CBeebies park there, because we did dedicate the first part of the morning to Eowyn, because obviously she goes for a nap at 11 to do what she wanted to do. So I was just quite thingy because the park you can get in, people from the hotel can get into the park from 9, but the things still don't open until 10. So we spent a long time just like walking around, chilling in the big tent area. If you've ever been there before, you'll know what I mean. In CBeebies Land, going around the sensory garden, which is great. I was like smelling all the mint. I loved it. And just chilling out, waiting for the park to open. The park opens, and then we take them to the park. The older two loved it as well. It was very accessible. It was pretty awesome. We did take the disability buggy because we thought, right, well, she can use that predominantly, and then if Nathan needs it, she can walk or go on my back, and then Nathan can use it because he is hypermobile. He is still relying on, you know, wheelchair, buggy, etc. type things. And so yeah, just want to, like, overall the room was like very small compared to what we're used to. Like, we did ask for an accessible room. They put us in one, it wasn't accessible at all. We did ask for an accessible room. We were told we would get an accessible room if it was available. It's like, right, fine, that's no problem. Got there. I didn't complain about it because, like, right, we knew the situation, we knew we might not get one. So, and we did make 2 separate bookings. So at the start we had to tell them, because Alton Towers, I don't know why you do this, but you cannot book more than 5 days at the hotel. I had to make 2 separate bookings and tell them at the desk, like, so I had to go down on the last day of the first booking, tell them we want to stay in the room, get our keys rehooked up to the room, and blah blah blah. They're like, we have never had anyone stay here longer than 4 days. Now, I'm not gonna lie, we spent over $5,000 on this holiday. That includes obviously expenses, hotel rooms, etc. We spent over $5,000 because when we go on holiday, we do not want to worry about having to pay for anything. But it was a lot of money to spend on a holiday at Alton Towers. Now, the holiday itself was absolutely brilliant. The cleaning staff that cleaned our room, absolutely brilliant. The water park was awesome. The only problem the sort of had was obviously like Nathan kept having like little mini meltdowns about Sonic, but when we reassured him Sonic's waiting for you at home, when we go home Sonic's going to be there. And then Eowyn was absolutely brilliant, considering she's been taken plucked out of her known environment into this whole vastly other different environment, and she's sharing a room with not just me and her dad, but you know, her siblings as well. So like we had to the bed. If you want to see what the room looks like, I do have a little video on that as well, so you can go check that out. But yeah, it was really good up until now. When I was young, I used to go to karate, and one of the parents from our karate group set up a trip for the kids, myself included, to go to M&D's amusement park in Scotland. So that also has rides and amusements and stuff like that. It's not nearly as big or as vast as like Blackpool or Alton Towers or anything like that. But when we went there, they had this ride called the Kamikaze. And what it did was, there's a row at the bottom. You set the sort of like thingy yourself into the bottom. The thing comes down where they're meant to check that it's all clipped in, and then it goes round in circles, up and down like this. So you go upside down on this ride, in your little rows. They sort of swing back and forward, and then you know do loop-de-loops. It's not a roller coaster; it just went round and round. And the person running it did not check that the seats were clipped in, and had it not been for the fact there was a metal bar at my feet, which I'd already tucked my feet underneath because I was like a bit apprehensive of going in the first place. And then there was these two metal bars on the sides of the seats that you could hold on to as well. And then obviously the head thing that was meant to keep you in came out, and I'm like, so the thing goes upside down. My harness is harnessed in. Had it not been for the fact that I had my feet under this metal pole and was clinging on to the metal bars at the sides, I would have fallen to my death. Now obviously I came off, I can't remember what age I am at this point, I think I'm about 8, 9. I came off, I am howling. My mum wasn't there, none of my parents were there. I was just there with this, these other parents and their kids, and it was so traumatic. Like, I think they thought that I was just upset about the ride. That's not what it is. I almost died, and I know some people can come back, well, you don't have any proof, we don't believe you. Doesn't matter if you believe me or not. I know what I know. I don't need, anyone else to confirm nor deny it. This is what I know happened to me. And this is why the next part was so traumatic. Now, there's a ride, Alton Towers, not that big, it's not that scary, it's called Spinball. So, the kids wanted to go on Spinball. Like, I hate Spinball. I do not like it at all. It spins round and round like this as you're going round the track, and it doesn't go upside down, but it goes nearly upside down. And it is like, I hate it, I don't like it. I was like, right. And because my husband is so tall, he cannot go on it for fear of being decapitated. Sorry. So I'm like, right, it's last day, we'll go, I'll take the kids on Spinball, it'll be fine. So we're waiting in the queue, because the kids are obviously need a carer, they get a queue skip thing. So we're waiting in the queue to go on. The ride shuts down for some technical reason, like, okay, cool. So we go to find my husband, who's went off to take Eowyn for a walk and like chill on the grass because she was like sleeping. Couldn't find him, so like, right, we'll wait back at the benches at Spinball. So we're waiting there because we know he'll come back eventually. It was a pretty like long queue, which is funny because like that is one of the only That was like the longest queue we'd ever been in at the park since we'd been, like, because we were there for 8 days. So like that whole week, that was the longest queue we'd been in. And then it starts up again, says reopening. It's like, oh, banging. So we go back into the queue. And then there's a few people before us, and there's people in the regular queue as well. So, you know, it starts going round and round, everything's fine. And me and my daughter are talking about how the frame actually shakes a little bit. Like, all right, it'll be fine. It's a 2-minute ride. It'll be fine. Don't worry about it. So we get on, starts up, we get round, and then it stops with us on it, on top of it. We're on a flat bit, thankfully, because if we were, you know, horizontal, I would have lost more of my cognition than I did. I'm sitting there, I'm like, trying to take deep breaths, like, need to stay calm for the kids, need to stay calm for the kids. If I freak out, they'll freak out. My husband starts walking back, we can see him from, you know, our perch up there on the roller coaster. I'm like, taking all the deep breaths, trying not to talk, because if I talk, I'll cry. My daughter's like asking me if you're okay. I'm okay. And then like I see my husband coming back and I just burst. I'm like waving at him, like thinking at him like this, like, come on, come up, you're gonna have to come up. Trying to get him to go talk to the guys, because I know as soon as I get off this ride, I will not be able to talk. When I'm emotional, I can't speak. That's where my daughter gets it from. She gets it from me. She has selective mutism. I don't know if I do, but if I get upset, I can't talk. So I burst out crying. My daughter's like, it's going to be okay, Mum. It's going to be okay. Nathan's sitting next to me. My daughter's like, has her back to us on the other side. And my son sees my husband and he's just like, hi, Dad. He's living his best life. He thinks it's great. I'm sitting there like, having a panic attack. And like these two workers come up, absolutely lovely people. The guy's like trying to talk to us, like keep us calm, blah blah blah. And the guy has to get in the carriage with us because it holds 4 people, but there's only 3 of us. So he gets in and says, like, in order for the ride to start again, it has to be a full car. I'm like, start again? I thought they were going to come up and take us down off of the ride. And like, no, like, so in order to get us back to the start, the guy had to climb into the cart, and then the ride restarted, took us back to the start, and obviously I'm still bawling my eyes out at this point. My husband comes up, talks to the guy, take our details, and this very unenthused worker comes up and goes, like, obviously I'm having a panic attack, I am crying my eyes out. I tried to explain to him why I was so upset. It's like, I would not have been so upset but for the fact that I had a previous traumatic experience. And my husband has spent a lot of time trying to, you see my Oblivion, I've never been on Oblivion, I can't, I've got, you know, heart palpitations. But my husband has spent a long time trying to get me over that fear, and then this happens. And I will never go on that ride again. No, I can't, I won't, I will not ever go on that ride again. Just the same as I will never ever go to M&D's. I will never take my children to M&D's. That will never happen. I will not put them at risk. One child actually died, as far as I am aware, in a very unpleasant circumstances, having going to M&D's. So I got a lucky escape, as it were, unfortunately for that poor child and their family. I completely understand how that could have happened, unfortunately. But anyway, so my husband spent a lot of time, this is like one of the reasons we started going to Alton Towers, like the kids enjoy it, they have absolutely no fear, it's very sensory orientated, especially with like fast going roller coasters and stuff. The 2 oldest have been on all of the biggest roller coasters apart from the ones 13 and Rita, because my husband is too tall to go on them and I can't because of my heart. So it's like, right, it's the last day, we'll go on it, it'll be 2 minutes, it'll be fine. I was like, I had my eyes closed, the whole time, all the way round, I did not want to acknowledge it whatsoever, and then it stops, and my worst fear, like, comes to light. Well, not one of my worst fears. Um, so, yeah, and then we get off, and the guy's talking to us like, "I'm so sorry. You shouldn't have to come to the park to have a good time and end up crying. Here's a voucher in this 19-degree hot weather for a hot drink and free entry to the park." And like, I'm just like deal with my husband. Like, I'm away, I'm burst, I'm crying. He keeps trying to sort of, like, I'm so sorry, I'm so sorry. Like, there was no enthusiasm or empathy in his voice whatsoever. You know when someone's like talking to you in such a monotone voice that you know they don't give a rat's ass? Yeah, that's what it was like. I'm like, right, okay. So they took my details of my husband. I had to go sit on a bench and calm down because I was literally shaking. The other two were fine. They were absolutely fine. Like, when we were up there, I kept telling them, like, don't move. Don't move. Don't rock it. I don't know how unstable it is. I don't know why it stopped. Don't move. But they were fine. It's not put them off whatsoever at all, because it would break my heart if it did put them off, that, like, you know, one of my fears had affected them so badly to the extent that they no longer wanted to do it. And that is, I tried to keep calm. I tried my best to keep as calm as I could, because just like with needles, I do not show that I am afraid. But I couldn't hold it together. I literally could not. As soon as I saw my husband coming back, that was it. I was gone. And I couldn't keep my composure anymore. And bless my oldest heart, she's like, "Are you okay, Mum?" She keeps asking if I'm alright. "You okay?" Nathan's sitting next to me, bless him. "Hi, Dad!" And he's just like, "This is great. This is fun. I like this." And he's like laughing his head off. He has no, concept of danger whatsoever. And yeah, so the kids have gold passes to Alton Towers, and we get in as carers. Hi, baby. You want your dodo? So we have no need for a free entry pass or a hot drink in that weather. I mean, Jesus Christ, man, you could have given us like a free refillable cup thing. I mean, despite the fact we still had them, but that would have been a bit better than, "Here, go have a hot chocolate that, one, you can't drink, and two, is too hot to drink." But yeah. Actually, why am I putting your hood on you? Because you got your hood up. You don't need your hat on. Silly mummy. You see? Hi, baby. Hi. This one was perfect. She was asleep the whole time that this was going on. So we gave the passes to my parents, because my dad likes Alton Towers. He's not been in years. He wants to go back. And my mum's never been. So we got one each, me, my oldest, and my son. So we just gave the three of them to them. This has not put us off going to Alton Towers. Alton Towers is still an amazing place. And the only thing I will say is that if someone is having an emotional breakdown because of your ride, your staff need to be better prepared to deal with that, because they did not deal with it. I did not feel safe. I tried to explain to them, this isn't entirely their fault. Like, the big emotional outburst is due to extenuating circumstances out with their control, but what happened did trigger, a severe emotional response, and their staff were not equipped to deal with that. And given the amount of people with additional support needs and disabilities, and obviously just other people that go to the park on a daily basis, if someone comes off a ride, whether it's broken down or not, and has an extreme response like that, you need to be able to calm them down, because it is not safe. But anyway, so it was a crappy last day. A lot of the rides were shut and we just wanted to go home. And the next morning we just jumped in the car. We left about 8:30 in the morning. We didn't get home until about 5:30 at night. So it was like a lot of hours in the car, and that was like including stops and lunch and everything else. That is what it is. But yes, that is our rundown. If there's anything specific you want to know about, please let me know. But like, please don't let the ending of what happened to us like put you off going. It is very, very expensive. I would say if you can, take your own food, take your own drinks, everything like that. Because as I said, we spent over £5,000 to go there for just over a week. And like the staff, one of the members of staff even asked my husband, like, are you guys millionaires? Like, no, we're not millionaires. We just saved a lot for this holiday. And also we need to keep extra money in case there are extenuating circumstances where we need to leave, we need to get out, we need to take kids home, they're not coping with this, we need to go. So we need extra money for, extra hotels or blah, blah, blah. But I did come back with some money, I'm not going to say how much. But anyway, oh my god, look, there's a butterfly up there. Right, this is a nice end to the video anyway. But yeah, if you do want to go to Hamilton Tours, please, do that. Look at this guy. If you do have additional needs or disabilities and stuff, you need to book your passes before you go. The kids get ride access passes. You need to book that online before you go. We met another couple there who also had an autistic child that didn't know, and basically were told you need to do it on email now and then come back to guest services later on after you've got the email. It could be hours later, could be days, who knows. And it come back to us then, and then we'll give you a ride access pass. So they could have spent God knows how many hours without their child being able to access rides because they couldn't wait. It never used to be that way. You used to be able to get it all done at guest services on the day. That's no longer the case. So if you're going and you have disabilities, it doesn't matter what amusement park it is, please look it up before you go, because you do not want to get there and find out that you cannot access things because of a lack of preparation, basically, or because you didn't look it up, or because it used to be different. Like, I am so lucky that we looked it up, because obviously the last time we went we were just able to get them on the day. And I did pre-book the carers passes, but for whatever reason it didn't show on the system. And always take your information with you, no matter what it is. Even if you've pre-booked, always take your information with you, because we still had to go to the box office every day and get new carers passes every single day, because for whatever reason it didn't log that we were carers. Because if that had been the case, we would have just got them for the whole week that time. But it is what it is. Hey ho. Apart from that, it was a great holiday. No major meltdowns. The lack of vegan food is also a bit irritating. I mean, Eowyn essentially ate chicken goujons and chips the whole week, because the goujons were sort of the only thing that were vegan. We ate Flambo Jambo's buffet most nights. We did go to the roller coaster restaurant. I do not like the roller coaster restaurant because there is no service. Right, it's great. The whole thing is, oh, your food comes down on the roller coaster, it's great. But after your food comes down on the roller coaster, what they don't tell you is you have to get your plates, you have to get your cutlery, you have to pour your drinks, you have to serve your food onto those plates, you have to, dish it out to everyone in your family. There is absolutely no service at the restaurant whatsoever. Like, there's no one coming up to you asking you if you've had a good meal. And also, we lost my Smiler hoodie. I got a Smiler hoodie while we were there, which had my husband's wallet in it, and it also had my bank card. So I had to transfer all our holiday money to a different account, block that account, and thankfully someone did get it, a really nice person. I don't know who it was. I wish they'd left a name. I would have liked to thank them personally. It was a Smiler jumper. I had a wallet in it. I wouldn't say what the wallet had on the front of it, but it was not safe for work phrase. And yeah, thank you to the person that handed that in to the security guards near Galactica after you came out of the Alton Towers Gardens, because it saved us a whole bunch of hassle. My husband having to get a new driver's license, etc., etc. Genuinely thankful to that human being for being a decent human being. But anyway, be logging off. If you guys want to know anything specific or anything relating to, like, anything specific about how the kids related to it with their autism or their different aspects of autism, because obviously they're all different, let me know in the comments, and I will try and do a Q&A video later if we get enough comments. If not, I'll just answer them in the comments. But anyway, thank you for watching, guys. Please remember to like and subscribe, and I will catch you next time. Goodbye. Now, how do I log off?